Hey, fight fans, it's Ted Check. So, pretty much everybody knows Mark Coleman. This is Mark Coleman, UFC Hall of Famer, also fought in Pride and was a champion over there. Recently, you might have heard that he saved his parents from a house fire. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to save his dog, but it was a miraculous, heroic story. Mark Coleman being interviewed this weekend for UFC 303, and this video comes courtesy of Caged Minds. Why do I have trouble saying Caged Minds? Caged Minds. Caged Minds. Check them out on YouTube. So he's talking about his fight with Shogun Rua at Pride 31, which was in 2006 in Japan, and how that all went down. So let's take a listen here.
We were good friends over there in Japan. One bad evening, or the fight between me and Shogun Rua, that was a blast for me, and for me to have them guys attack me like that, show the love that they had for Shogun. That was special to me. I mean,
that's very interesting. After all these years, I guess it would be 18 years ago. The perspective that he has on this. What happened was, and I can't show you the video because UFC owns it. UFC owns Pride, so I can't show you the video. Although I can go to let's take a look at a photograph here on SureDog. So what happened was, so here's Coleman, and there's Mauricio Shogun Rua. Coleman took Rua down, and his right arm, he posted with his right arm kind of behind himself like that, and his elbow snapped. And Coleman continued his attack, presumably not knowing that Shogun was injured. However, and here's Shogun's brother, Ninja. They called him Ninja. He was Shogun and he was Ninja. So Ninja is asking him if he's okay. So the Chute Boxe team could clearly see from where they were, their vantage point, they could see that he was injured. Coleman couldn't see it. His team probably couldn't see it. The ref clearly could at one point. But Coleman kept attacking, so the Chute Boxe, it was like a bench clearing brawl. The Chute Boxe guys came in, and the Hammer House guys, Mark Coleman's team, came in, and so there was this big, this big brawl in the ring. They fought in a ring, not a cage. So that is what Mark Coleman's talking about. Let's see if he says anything more about it. But it's interesting, his perspective, that now he looks at it kind of fondly,
No hate, all love for those guys. It happened so fast, and I hate that the people from Brazil, or a lot of people, thought that I was dirty and cheap. I'm not fucking dirty and cheap ever. I had no clue what happened. I'm in the middle, fighting for my life. The last fight on my contract, and I was out of there. And I'm fighting for my life. They gave me 90 days notice. They blew it. They gave me 90 days notice against anybody, I'm gonna fucking win. And the fight itself was exciting for a minute and a half. I had no clue he broke his arm, and the shit that happened afterwards, I don't have a problem with it. It was beautiful, but I didn't know he broke his arm. So that shit happens. It's all fine and dandy, but I don't feel like I was dirty at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. Well, a couple of things. His perspective on it now, the way that he looks back on it, like I said, kind of fondly. And I mean, in mixed martial arts, you find that there's a camaraderie even among opponents. It's actually quite common to see adversaries hug it out after a fight because of the respect that they share for each other. That the respect that they've gained for each other while the fight has been going on. And a lot of times you'll have guys that be like, hey, let's train together in the future, So, and you just had, the Hammer House was one team, Chute Boxe was another team. There was a lot of, well, pardon the pun, pride. There was a lot of pride, esprit de corps, shall we say, amongst those two teams. And so it's cool. It's good that we see Coleman thinking this way. Now, the kind of the caveat to this is that here's Shogun and Mark Coleman about 3 years later, almost exactly 3 years later, in the UFC. This was UFC 93 in 2009, and Shogun got the win this time. He got a TKO win over Mark Coleman. I mean, Coleman clearly, in great shape. in fantastic shape, but clearly past his prime. Yeah, so the first time around, Coleman won by TKO because of the broken elbow. This time, Shogun Hua won by TKO, and that is just I mean, look at that. That's a devastating neck kick. I'm not sure if that's what ended the fight. I can't remember, but yeah, what a it's just a little bit of MMA history there for you, for all of you. If there are any newer fans out there, it's important to know the history and look back on some of these matches. You know, look up the Pride fights and the old UFC fights. A lot of history there, a lot of excitement. You know, that's built the foundation for what we see today. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on all this, and I wish Mark Coleman the absolute best. I have to see if I can dig up that photo of the two of us. But yeah, when I met him, he had the Pride belt there. That thing was huge. It was more than a dinner plate. It was a serving plate. He had the Pride belt. I think he had the UFC belt with him, and just a gracious guy, very friendly. You know, and took the time to talk to me. Who was I? Just some you know random jabroni. You know, but yeah. So it's great meeting him in Columbus. So let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you later.